Hello world, welcome to Stuff and Things for August 2017. So, I've discovered modded Terraria. I didn't even know Terraria had mods. I mean, I know there were maps, you could pick up other people's maps and all. But man, where have I been? Because some of these mods are at least a year old. And there's not a huge modding community, but there's some pretty good mods. And it helps that there's a tool where I can make my own maps however I want them to, which means I don't have to have Corruption or Crimson, both of which I don't like because they're ugly. I don't mind the hollow, even though it spreads all over the place, but the hollow isn't ugly. It looks pretty. It's like rainbows and unicorns and colorful trees and crazy stuff like that, but Crimson and Corruption is just ugly and it spreads and it just like makes the whole map look ugly and I don't like dealing with it, so it's like greatest thing ever. Oh, and I can get rid of all the pots. I know it's weird, but I generate my maps with no pots. I've been kind of sort of working on a video for Champions Line for the key binding thing, except that it's really tedious and boring to do, because it requires a bunch of screenshots and things that I have to make by hand instead of just editing some video, which is a lot easier. So I kind of just been like not working on it very much. And I can't really remaster any of my old freeform builds because I don't think any of the power sets that have been attached to them have even been updated yet. I mean, Gadgeteering hasn't been... I would love for them to make a Gadgeteering healing set, because I know it's something that people have been asking for forever, and you can't really do it very well. I mean, you could fake it with some other sets, but there isn't anything in Gadgeteering itself which hasn't been updated, and the Celestial hasn't been updated either, and Archery hasn't been updated. None of the unarmed sets have, like Brick or martial arts ones. They haven't been updated yet. It's kind of like, well, I think the only build that I could update is maybe the Lazy Healer one, except I'm not even sure about that because it uses Darkness and Celestial. Celestial hasn't obviously not been touched. And Darkness kind of got some updates, but it didn't really get an overview like most of the other ones that have gotten updates have, so I'm not sure if they're going to change it or not. And the same is for Heavy Weapons. I know it did get kind of an update, but not a major one. I mean, some of the sets got... Mostly when you see the updates, you see sets with like some really big updates, and then you have a few sets that get some like, you know, pity update kind of things. So it's like I gotta say, it's like if I remaster this build now, am I gonna have to just do this crap again in a few months when they're like, oh yeah, jokes, we really are gonna do some major changes to this power set that you just wasted your time making this stupid video for and I have to make another one for. I don't know, it's just kind of annoying. I do have another build that I have been working on, a gladiator-ish build. I think the hardest part of it was that there really are no Roman-style armors in the game, and don't you dare say the Amazon set, because that is not Roman-style at all, like not even close. And even the sword, it's like they call it an Amazon Gladius. It's like it doesn't look anything like a Gladius, which is weird because like there are actually like 4 different styles of Gladius, and two of them have like this really nice leaf-shaped blade, and it's like, why didn't they put that in there? It looks really nice, like historically accurate. The Gladius looks really nice, and they have this, whatever they have. I want to say it's a Chinese sword, but the blade on it, I actually thought it was in the scabbard because the blade is hilariously thick. No sword is like that. It looks like a bludgeoning weapon, which is, I don't understand why they made it like that. And it's like, none of the Gladius, they don't have a fuller anyway, which the sword does. It's like the part in the middle that's an indent. It's to make the blade lighter, except that the blade is so thick it looks like you should be beating people to death with it. So, I mean, I can't really say it's a Chinese sword because it's like more like the hilt and the handle is Chinese and then the blade is like a bludgeoning weapon. So it's kind of like a Chinese bludgeoning weapon, maybe? I don't know. Just weird. I mean, the set looks nice, but it's not even close to Roman. I mean, I think the most iconic Roman armor would be the Lurica Segmentata, which has like it's like a plate, but it has in segments. It does look really nice. Like, oddly enough, the Cyber Cowboy set, the shoulder pads look more like shoulder pads that would go with a Roman set than anything in the Amazon set. So I don't know if it was supposed to be Roman inspired, but it doesn't look anything like Roman armor at all, except maybe the helm. Yeah, I know, long random tangent about the lack of nice armor, which is weird because they have the whole gladiator thing, like the arena, but they don't really have anything Roman inspired. They don't even have really nice gladiator armor because a lot of the types of gladiators, they didn't necessarily wear chest armor. They had quite a few of them have shields, which we don't have. I mean, I would say a scutum is very iconic for the Roman army, and they don't have that. Even some of the gladiators had that, and it's just not there, which is sad because it would be awesome. But it's basically just some arm and leg sleeves that are like cloth or wrappings, or sometimes I think they might be metal sometimes, but they don't even have something like that. So that's kind of really weird. And I think like some of the helmets look kind of gladiatorish, like historical Roman gladiator kind of thing, but not really. I don't know. I mean, I get creative stylistic, but some historical armors look really nice, and it's like, why don't you just make them look like that? I don't get it. The last game that's been sucking away all my attention is, of course, Passive Exile, which just had their 3.0 expansion. So I have to look at all of the pretty new things in there, and they had some new skill gems and a whole bunch of new areas and new story stuff. So yeah, I have to play with that. And of course, a new 3-month league, or however long they decide to keep it up. The last league they kept up for 6 months because it was so popular. Everyone's like, no, we need to keep it. And now they have the new one, which is alright. I don't know. I guess I'm not really sold either way on them. I mostly just wanted to roll up a new character so I could see all the new stuff. I mean, the biggest thing I love about Path of Exile is that it has, if you've never played it, it has like probably the most interesting character building system of any game I've played. It's definitely not very new player friendly, and probably overwhelming because it's not exactly very forgiving if you make mistakes, but like the customization you can do is kind of crazy. I mean, they have classes, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, if I make a ranger, which is the dexterity class, and normally is focused around bows, I could turn that into a spellcaster. It's not terribly hard. I mean, I wouldn't have to waste points on random weird shit. I could just go and pick up a whole bunch of life at the beginning of the tree and then go all the way over to the other parts of the tree, because the whole tree is connected. Like, all the classes just start in different spaces on the tree. That's definitely why I like to play. I mean, I guess it's, challenging, blah, blah, blah. But I don't really play the game for the challenging aspect. I play it because the character build customization is, like, amazing. The character customization is not really. I mean, they do have, the armor skins and stuff that you could put on, and they finally added a decent system so I could change the look of my character easily, and it's not like a huge annoying pain in the ass, and I don't have to worry about which character did I have this, armor piece on. I have no idea. I could just take it and put it on whatever character I want, which is nice. I finally did purchase the parts for my computer and upgraded my computer and all that, but I had to go with Newegg, which I think it only ships in the US, which kind of sucks. I know not all of you are from the United States, but I had to be careful about who they choose as a shipping company, because I live in California. It's one of the states that's covered by this really small shipping company called OnTrack, which is like the worst shipping company ever. They have never delivered anything successfully to my door, and it's just, they're idiots. I mean, the last time it was a hard drive that I ordered, and they just left it outside the front office. If I hadn't checked to see if my delivery arrived, it could have been stolen, because I wouldn't have known it was there, and it would have been there, and then it wouldn't have been. Because they just left it outside. The front office, they had lunch, and some idiot just, left it outside. I mean, really, why would you do that? I'm like, I'm not gonna, risk $500 worth of computer parts to be sitting outside. But Newegg has this really nice feature where I could choose to have my stuff shipped to a FedEx location, and they just hold it until I pick it up. And there's, a FedEx thing right down the street. It's, 2 blocks away. I actually didn't know there was a FedEx thing inside, because it's like a Walgreens, which is they mostly do prescriptions, but they have a little convenience store shit in there too. It's like, oh, they have a FedEx inside. I had no idea, but now I know. If I want computer parts, I can get them from Newegg, and they will ship them to the FedEx place that's 2 blocks away. It's amazing. Of course, it doesn't help me with Amazon. You know what really kills me? It's most shipping companies, you could, choose to pay a certain shipping rate, but you can't choose who ships your stuff. I mean, if you're paying for shipping, shouldn't you be allowed to choose who ships your stuff? Because I know other people have problems with some of the other carriers in their area. I mean, that would be great, because OnTrack serves 5 states, which isn't very many. Probably because they suck. I don't know how they stay in business, honestly, with so many people complaining. But, some places have problems with the United States Post Office and delivering stuff. I mean, I've never had a problem with them, but some other places do. I mean, it kind of depends on the carriers in your area. So, I mean, we'd think that'd be the one thing. I mean, online shopping is supposed to be really convenient, but you can never pick your shipping company. I don't understand that. You would think it'd be, if you're paying for shipping, you can also pay for whoever the hell you want to ship your stuff. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. Stupid OnTrack. Stupid internet shopping that's supposed to be convenient, but it totally isn't, because everyone in this area wants to use OnTrack because they're cheap, but they also are cheap because they suck. Anyway, I did say I wanted to do a Skyrim playthrough. Toured between old Skyrim and the special edition. I do have them both. I mean, the old Skyrim has the script extender, which is great. I mean, most of the mods that I would love to use have already been ported up to special edition because they don't require the script extender, but there's some mods I just absolutely love that are not available in special edition because they require the script extender. Like my favorite magic mod, I want to say it's the Forbidden or Forgotten Magics. I love that spell mod, but it requires the script extender, so that's not going to be ported up. That kind of sucks. But they have stuff like Apocalypse Magic. I don't normally use it. They do have, when you enter combat, it auto-casts like 3 utility spells. That is so handy. It's just such a great quality of life thing for a magic caster. But old Skyrim has Grim Utilities, which has hotkeys that you could assign for all kinds of utilities. So you can do normal spells too, but I use it for utility spells. So it's like, I want to cast a sneak spell. I just press a button. I don't have to worry about switching out, using hotkeys to put shit in my hand and then cast it, or fooling around with the favorites menu. I assign it to a hotkey, I press the hotkey, and I have my utility spells go. It's so handy. I mean, to me, it's a quality of life thing. Yeah, you could use it to be like super cheaty, but hopefully in the next Skyrim, they fix things so that making and playing a spellcaster is just less painful. And they put some of these nice quality of life changes in there, making it easier to like have things hotkeyed and switch between spells and stuff, so it's not such a colossal pain in the ass. I don't know, but I mean, Skyrim Special Edition does run better, and that's a pretty big plus. And I think I finally found an EMB that makes the game look how I want it to. I like having extra saturation, although I could also do something with Terraria now that I've been modding the crap out of it. I think that would be fun too, because the thorium mod has the Bard class. I love the Bard class. It's just so much fun. But they also have a healer class, which I am a little bit disappointed because some of the healer class, they have these like the coolest weapons. They have like the scythe weapon class, and it's like it just spins around you, and they have like the Terraria or whatever it's called scythe, which is like I think after the Moonlord thing. It looks so fun. It's like they have these really colorful particles, and it's like I would love to make a healer character that focused more on the damage, like the scythe part of it, because the scythe looks so cool. Oh yeah, the Christmas scythe. You have like the right and left actions for it, actually. The normal left click one is just normal scythe, but it's really cool. And the left click one has like the like snow particles coming out. It like slows everything down. It's so awesome. I love that one. But the damage kind of is so bad. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm using the last prism, but if you've played Terraria, it's like the best magic weapon in the whole game. It's so powerful. It's crazy powerful. But it also like hoovers up magic like no tomorrow. And I did actually figure out how to make a last prism mage character that can actually use the last prism. It basically requires me to take damage to regenerate my mana, which does work pretty well. But they also have like the fun thing, they have like classes, like there are a couple of different class mods, and one of them's kind of fun. They have like a mounted class mod where you could be basically like cavalry. You get bonuses to magic, ranged, and melee damage, but only while you're on a mount. Which at the end game, my one character, I used the flying saucer thing like all the time. So basically I would always be on a mount, at least for bosses. I mean, it does suck trying to explore underground when you're supposed to be on a mount, because you get the bunny mount right at the beginning of the game, which by the way, the bunny mount kind of sucks for bosses. But anyway, just I'm not dead. I'm still doing things. It's just screaming beastly children, and it's just been too damn hot. I probably should just like try to record really late at night, but then I have to be quiet and stuff because people are sleeping.